Joining me now is Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, Democrat from Illinois, and former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, now an NBC political analyst. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you, Ravenel.
Congresswoman, why would the Republicans waste so much time attacking something that's doing really so much good for the American people?
Well, you could say the definition of insanity, is to do something over and over again. But I think they must feel that somehow there's a political advantage. Although the polls are now saying, Kaiser Family Foundation poll says 56% of Americans just think the Republicans have to get over it and move on past trying to repeal the health care bill. And I think we have a great moment of opportunity here, Reverend Al, to have people take another look at how good the Affordable Care Act, how good Obamacare is really going to be for them, and is for many millions of people already.
Now, Governor Rendell, when you look at the fact that this affects real people, let's go outside of the Beltway. Well, we can go right here to this show. Let me show you some of the guests who have personally been touched in their lives directly or indirectly by the health care law and talk about how it has helped their lives. Watch this, Governor.
This law is extremely important, not only to me and my daughters, but to 350,000 other childhood cancer survivors right now in this country who are now protected from pre-existing condition discrimination.
I wanted people to know that this is not government-run health care. It's the absolute best cancer care that any insurance policy could get me, and I'm extremely grateful.
Governor, this is about people, real life. This is about the existence of things that have really made a positive difference for people. I don't think the Republicans get that.
Nor do they seem to care about it. They've never acknowledged that even in their view, that there were parts of the bill that did tremendous amounts of good. And they also absolutely misrepresent this business about it's going to hurt small businesses. You properly said, Reverend Sharpton, that in the act itself, already in effect, any small business, 25 employees or less, that gives health care to their employees can take a 35% tax credit. Now, tell me how, in the wildest stretch of your imagination, that's hurting small business. It's helping small business. It's helping their employees. But they basically disregard the truth with impunity. And one of the things that Congresswoman said that's so important is this does give the president and all of us, the people who believe the act is on balance a good one, the opportunity to redefine it for the American people. The Republicans are saying it's a tax. Well, the mandate taxes less than 1% of the American people. It only taxes people who don't have health care and who can afford to have health care. If you've got health care today, the mandate has no effect on you. It is not a tax. So we've got to get out there and talk about this bill, explain it to the American people. The more we do that, I think the more that 56% will rise.
Well, now, you were governor of Pennsylvania. What about these governors that are saying that they're not going to expand and work this act in their state? I mean, how do you explain this?
Shameful. It's shameful politicking. These are Republican governors who hope to be president or vice president someday, and they're doing it at the cost to their citizens. Understand that right now, Medicaid, states provide somewhere between 40 and 50% of the funding for Medicaid as it exists today. The expansion that's in the Affordable Health Care Act, for the first 3 years, the federal government pays 100%. The state puts up nothing. And then after that, the federal government pays 90%. The states put up 10%. So to turn your back on that type of money, which could help ensure literally millions in many states like Texas of your citizens, to turn your back on that is shameful.
Congresswoman Schakowsky, is not only shameful to turn your back on it, they don't even have a real plan of their own. It's not like they've said, well, this is a better plan. When questioned, many leading Republicans, by name Paul Ryan and John Boehner, have no replacement plan for President Obama's health care law. Look at this.
To be specific, those provisions that are already in place now, like closing the donut hole, covering young adults under the age of 26, not placing lifetime limits on care, those are all going to go in the House vote. You're not going to vote to replace them?
We're going to repeal the entire law, and then we're going to advance patient-centered reforms which address these kinds of issues.
So when you repeal this, what are you going to replace it with?
I just started pointing out, we're going to take a common sense, step-by-step approach. This has to be ripped out by its roots.
So all those people who have pre-existing conditions, you say we're going to get rid of this, and then at some point we'll deal with it.
Listen, I've already outlined. We believe there's a better way.
We believe there's a better way, Congresswoman. We just haven't figured out what that is. We just want to shut this down.
Well, they could look at their nominee. Romneycare really formed the basis of the Obamacare proposal. And, of course, now he's trying to run away from it. But, no, they have never proposed. I'm also on the Energy and Commerce Committee, where we've had hours and hours of repeal debates on certain parts and all of the law. They have never once proposed any kind of alternative. But, you know, Romney had an alternative. It worked in Massachusetts, and it is the basis for this Obamacare right now.
Well, I think that the facts speak for themselves. Congresswoman Schakowsky, Governor Rendell, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Reverend.
Reverend.